that the physical body is only the outer self. Beyond that outer self, you have what is called as the mind. And when we say mind in Vedantic parlance, it includes both mind, intellect and all that. In Vedanta, life is defined as Anubhava Dhara, stream of experiences. From the time we are born till the time we die, all that we are going through is experiences after experiences.
We are attached to everyone around us. Is that not selfish then to not be attached?
No. See, you need to understand what is attachment. There's a big misconception about this growth. They say growth.
Yeah.
And the way you described, we need to question whether it is growth or swelling. Now, why do people want to accumulate wealth? To fight with their insecurities, to fulfill their desires.
Hi everyone, welcome to No Idea Whatsoever. Today I have Swami Lakshmi Narayan with me. He is the disciple of a senior, internationally renowned Swami Parthasarathi. The topic today is the Bhagavad Gita, which is a manual for living. Please forgive me if I've made any mistakes in the podcast, but this has been one of the most amazing episodes I've shot, and I'm sure you'll enjoy listening to it. Swamiji, welcome to No Idea Whatsoever.
Thank you.
It's so nice to have you here, and please pardon me in case I make any mistakes because, of course, I'm highly intimidated with all the knowledge you have. And hopefully, I'm so grateful that you could be here because firstly, to have an hour with you one-on-one is, I think, a privilege, and I really am excited to, learn so much from you today.
Oh, good. Even it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank
so that
you.
I could, whatever little, it's a good platform to share with others, Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Swamiji, my first question always is, did you know what you were going to do, or did you have no idea whatsoever when you were younger?
I had no idea whatsoever, especially in that I didn't know that I was going to get into spirituality full time like I did, Definitely no idea.
Can you tell me a little bit about your years growing up and anything that, shaped this journey where you got into spirituality?
No, I am from Chennai. I grew up in Chennai, and a lot of books of Swami Vivekananda and quotations, stories inspired me. So you can say that it is Swami Vivekananda who inspired me, to get into spirituality. But so many other factors also. Then I heard my guru speak on Bhagavad Gita in Chennai, which made me take the decision to get into full-time Vedanta.
And you studied engineering and you had a full-time job.
Of course, yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about that? Because it's such an interesting transition to have a full job and be committed to this now full-time. How did that transition happen?
Like I said, I was working in India, especially in Chennai only I was working. And I got introduced to Vedanta through one of my relatives.
Okay.
Right. He happened to go to these sessions, which used to happen in Chennai in one of the schools on the weekends. So he introduced me to that class. And when I went there, they were discussing this book by Swamiji called Vedanta Treatise, The Eternities. So that book really inspired me to take it full time. And I was attending those sessions for almost 2-3 months.
Okay.
Then Swamiji himself had come to Chennai to give his Gita lectures. He gives usually for 4 to 5 days or 7 days, depending on the length of the chapter. So that time he was there almost for a week. So I had the privilege of listening to him. And he was doing both morning and evening.
Okay.
Morning he was doing Upanishad. I think he was doing Mundaka Upanishad. And evening he was doing Bhagavad Gita. So as I was listening to him, I'm reading the book which he's written. And I'm attending the sessions on that book, but nothing like listening to the same author, who's written the book and who's been lecturing on this subject for so many years. So that made me think that I must give up what I'm doing right now and understand this first. First of all, I must understand about myself. That's what the entire subject Vedanta is all about, right? So I thought, if I cannot have at least some grip over myself, what then I can do in life, you know? So I said, okay, I'm very young. Let me take a plunge. So I took the plunge and it's worked out good for me.
How old were you when you switched to this full time?
I was 21.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 21 or 22. Yeah.
So do you think this is like a gift that you had? Because it's such an important decision, right? Most of us are 21, want to make money, buy a house. No one is looking at spirituality as a path of life and joy. Very few people, I think, are gifted that they have the good fortune to take this path. So how did you was it difficult for you to give up all the material, money, ambition?
No, actually, it was not at all difficult. In the sense, there was this thirst, you can say, to know this knowledge. As I got introduced to it, like I said, then I realized that the real things that needs to be known, I don't know. So then it made sense for me to know that first, and therefore it didn't matter to me at that time. So you can say that are you gifted? I don't know whether I'm gifted, but I'm blessed, right? And also, without the blessings of the totality, nothing happens.
Yeah,
Even if this podcast is happening today, it's because of the blessings of the totality.
I know.
And as you know, in between there were certain issues in my,
House.
So I probably need to have gone to Chennai to attend to that. But then I said, let's see if things work out fine, then we'll do the podcast. So everything is the blessings of the totality. Of course, our effort is important.
Yes.
But without the effort of the totality, nothing happens.
No, that's,
Yeah.
I think that's so well put. But, this whole path of spirituality that you have taken at the age of 21, and you said that the reason you took it was because you wanted to know yourself. So when you talk about myself, like I didn't know myself, what do you think is oneself?
Yeah, see, today I understand myself, or any one of us understands ourselves to be this physical personality. Maximum we go up to is mind.
Yeah.
So when you study Vedanta, it clearly explains that the physical body is only the outer self. You beyond that outer self, you have what is called as the mind. And when we say mind in Vedantic parlance, it includes both mind, intellect, and all that. So if you go into details, then we kind of explain what is mind, what is intellect. But when we generally say mind, it includes both mind and intellect. So beyond the body, there is this mind, which is thoughts. And beyond the mind is where your real self is, what you call as Atma. Right? So when I started reading about all that in the book, I said, my God, man, I don't know anything about me. I know very little about me. And then I'm thinking that I know how to start meeting life, the challenges of life. I said, no, the first thing I need to fix is I need to understand about myself a little more, So that's all I did. So that's what Vedanta says. So when we say self, self is that which is beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect, beyond your inner nature, the vasanas or the inner temperament. And that is what we call as Atma, the real self. And that's what we mean by self in Vedanta when we say self. And when we write, we put it in capital S, not with small s. Whenever we write self with small s, we mean this little self, this body, mind, intellect complex. When we put it with capital S, we mean the higher self, the true self, which is eternal. Yeah. So when we identify with the real self, or when we go deeper and deeper into our personality, we become more balanced, stable, and dynamic. We rise above our insecurities, fear, and more caring, kind, compassionate. All that happens, So, therefore, you become a better human being. In fact, Swami Chinmananda ji has written a book. I think it's called The Art of Man Making.
Okay.
So, really speaking, you become a true man or a true woman, true human being, only when you realize your inner potential. Like they say, in Hindi, "Dusron ko jai se pehle, khud ko jai kare." So we are all in the hurry to conquer the world.
Yes.
Right? So Swami Vivekananda said, conquer the mind, you conquer the world. So what can conquer the mind is that awareness, the Atma, the pure awareness. Meaning you got to go beyond the mind to be able to conquer the mind.
And this, Bhagavad Gita, of course, has always been interpreted as a religious text, right? So how should a modern individual approach it as a manual, as opposed to a religious text?
See, first of all, why do we call Bhagavad Gita as manual of life and living? Let's at least understand what life is all about. In Vedanta, life is defined as Anubhava Dhara, stream of experiences. From the time we are born till the time we die, all that we are going through is experiences after experiences. When the experiences ceases, life becomes extinct. So one unit of life would be one experience. If life is sigma experiences, then one unit of life would be one experience.
Wow.
And then if you go deeper into that experience, what is an experience made up of? The individual and the world. Right? You and the world. When you contact the world, there is experience. Series of such experiences flowing is life. So Bhagavad Gita analyzes the individual. In fact, the first 6 chapters of the Gita analyzes the individual. The entire Gita is elaborate explanation of the declaration in the Upanishad, Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. That reality, the what, right? You are not Devaki. I am not Lakshmi Narayan. It's interesting. When the baby is born, first few days, the baby is not given any name. There's a ceremony and then they decide the name. Maybe they have decided the name before itself, but to cater to the mother, father, and both the sides, they may have 2-3 names decided and they may give all the names, Till then, how were we addressed?
Yeah.
You, me, all of us, even the greatest scientists, how were they addressed before the name? We were called like that, right? So then only we were given the name. So we didn't have the name when we were born. And when we die also, the name is taken away. We don't have the name. Then supposing somebody dies in the hospital and there are people at home, they're waiting for the body to come. They'll say, has the body arrived?
Yes.
They're not going to say, has that person come?
Yeah.
So in Tamil, there's a scripture, Tirumandiram, Tirumular's Tirumandiram. In that he says, Peyarinai Niki Pinamendru Peyarit. Means they remove the name. Peyar means name. They remove the name and name it as dead body. So that's this body.
So it really comes a full circle.
Yeah, so this, when we are born, we are given the name. But we are thinking, I am this name. I am male or female. I am Vaishya Shudra. Right? That is just caste. Male or female is my sex. This is my name. And if I say I'm an engineer or a doctor, that is my profession. So then who the heaven are you? Who are you really? So that's what Vedanta talks about. So Tat Tvam Asi. That reality, the what? Not this Devaki, not this body, not this mind, not this intellect. And when you know it, in essence, then everything becomes a Leela. We call it as Krishna Leela. We also call goddess as Lalitambika. It's all just a game. It's just a tamasha. So that's what it is. And that's what Gita does. Arjuna was so stressed in the beginning, right? And because of Gita, he was revived. And he could deal with it very easily. See, I keep saying in my classes also that I don't know whether it actually happened, but somewhere I read this. In 1996 or so, we had a Cricket World Cup hosted by India, Sri Lanka and Pakistan jointly. And I think in quarterfinals, India was playing against Pakistan in Bengaluru. I think that time it was called Bangalore, right? So, and the news that I read, it said that when some of the Pakistani players were asked, the match is coming up with India, how do you look at it? They said, it's a war. Apparently they said, I don't know. They said it's a war,
Yeah.
So then when some of the Indian players were asked, what do you think? They are saying it's a war. So then some of them said, if it's a war, we win because every time we had a war, we always won, So I read it somewhere. See, here what is happening is a game, a sport. We are taking it as a war. There, the real situation is war front. War, Sri Krishna is saying, ekela. Kshetrajnam chapimam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. All these are different fields. You are that kshetrajna. You are that one kshetrajna, that reality, which is sporting. The same consciousness is sporting through this body, is the same consciousness is sporting through your body, and the consciousness that is sporting through your body is questioning, and the consciousness which is sporting through my body is answering. So there's a tamasha going on.
Is that the reason the battlefield was chosen to
Yes,
translate?
I think so. So, just to conclude what I was telling before, that's why it's called as manual. It teaches you about yourself. It teaches you about the world. How to relate. That's what Bhagavad Gita is all about. How to relate is taught about in the last 6 chapters. So, Tat Tvam Asi. Tvam is discussed in the first 6, Tat in the middle, and Asi, the connection, the relationship, how to go about, what you should know, what are the qualities you need to develop, values, to be able to relate with the world better so that you attain both peace and prosperity. That's what Gita talks about. That's why we call it as manual. Now, coming back to what you just asked now, when you say, is it the reason why it was given in the battlefield? See, Gita was given in the battlefield for the simple reason Arjuna asked it in the battlefield. On the battlefield, he asked, when he confronted the real challenge.
Correct.
See, all of us succumb at some point.
Yeah.
Arjuna was number 1 in the art of archery. He had all the intelligence in warfare. He was very skillful, and he had the experience also, right? He had actually faced all these people single-handedly before. If you read Mahabharata, you'll understand in some context. I'm not getting into that. When they were in 13th year, when they were in exile, to find the Pandavas, Duryodhana did all the efforts. And then finally he understood that they were all hiding in the kingdom. So he went there and Arjuna had to fight against them. Single-handedly he defeated them. So he can defeat them. He knows that. He has the capacity. He has the intelligence. Yet he succumbed. Because the challenge was bigger than the situation was such that he had to kill his guru, his great-grandfather. In fact, Bhishma Pitamaha, who's his great-grandfather, who renounced the throne. For that throne only now the war is going on, right? So therefore, he was so overpowered by his emotions, he couldn't handle. So that's what the battlefield signifies. We are all masters till the challenge is ours, or the challenge is really big, which tests us. Now, till then we think, I've got the enough intelligence and this and that, but then we succumb. So that's probably why they chose the background as battlefield to give it.
But so Arjuna, of course, faced this confusion, fear, conflict on the battlefield. And what do you think Arjuna's dilemma is in the 21st century?
See, the dilemma is the same. Arjuna suffered because of attachment. Right? What we call as raga. If you have raga, you will have shoka. Nobody can escape from shoka when they drive their life with raga. Raga means attachment, likes and dislikes. Okay. So Arjuna got confused, suffered, got into conflict, insecurity, all that because of his attachment. Right. Which comes from the ignorance of your true nature. Attachment comes because of the ignorance of my true nature. I imagine myself to be this limited individual. And the individual who is limited to feel complete, unlimited. Our thoughts run towards the world outside, and thoughts, when they run, they develop into attachments and desires, etc., all the modifications. So because of that, we suffer. We try to fulfill one desire after another to feel secure, to feel complete. But the nature of desire and mind is such that how much ever you get, it's not enough, So you are going to continuously feel insecure. So you are going to be constantly chasing, running. And this is what is happening, right? So therefore, the confusion, all that Arjuna had that time is exactly what we are also going through now. Attachment. Attachment is the problem. Even in relationships, in everything, it's because of attachment. Even if I'm attached to this podcast, to that extent, the outcome will suffer. So everywhere, the problem is the same. Only the things and situations may be different. But the mind is what gets attached. So that's the problem.
But should I not be attached to my mother, father, child, partner? I mean, my work. Like, what is dharma? And I know they're different things, perhaps, but we talk so much about, we are attached to everyone around us. Is that not selfish then to not be attached?
No. See, you need to understand what is attachment. Now, people may use the term from different angle, but attachment means selfish love, right? That is
Selfish love.
selfish love. Love and attachment. What is it we need to understand? You said, should I not be attached to my mother, father, siblings, friends, work? No. You should have love towards your parents, towards your work, towards your friends, towards everybody, right? Love is identification. Love is feeling of oneness. Attachment is feeling of minus. Why am I attached to my son? His nose is like me. Look at his eyes, his eyes are like me. His cheeks has gone after his father, but eyes are like me. So basically, I am actually in love with myself. When I say I love my mother, or when the mother says I love my son or daughter, it is not real love in today's context. It is more attachment. It is selfish love. It is ulta. It's perverted. So that's why we say it's not attachment. It is love that is needed. We need to develop love. Love is not there anywhere. You hardly find it anywhere. When people say I love, it is attachment. A father or mother who says they love so much, they love the daughter so much. The same daughter, they've killed. Honor killing and all that we hear,
Yeah.
How is this possible? You said you love her so much? Simply because she said, I'm in love with another boy from a different caste or community. And you said, no, you can't get married to him. And she said, nothing doing, I'm going to get married. And either she goes and gets married, and probably they were about to get married, they finished them off. They hired somebody and finished them off. All this you hear.
Yeah.
How can you call that as love? That's not love. That is attachment. That is selfishness. You're in love with yourself. You're not in love with that other person. That's the problem. Attachment, like I said, is feeling of minus, not feeling of oneness.
But one question that comes to me as you speak is, of course, everyone is going to leave this world and go someday. That sorrow that is there with someone's departure, is that also attachment?
No. A human being is one who can have emotions. Should have emotions. A human being should have emotions, but never turn emotional. Never allow the emotions to overpower you. Right? So in the Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter, when he talks about a perfect human being, Shri Krishna says, Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha, sukeshu vigatasprihaha, vita raga bhayakrodha, stitadhir muni ruchyate. So, a perfect person, an enlightened soul, an evolved person will also have emotions, right? In fact, they'll have deeper emotions. So, they will have sorrow, but they won't let the sorrow affect them. Neither they allow the joys, excitements to affect them. So, both will be there. They are not going to go away. You will have emotions. But the emotions will not overpower you. They will not completely finish you. You will be controlling them rather than they controlling you. Like, sometimes when we take our pet out for a walk, they are taking the dog out for a walk. You don't know whether they are taking the dog for a walk or dog is taking them for a walk. Dog goes on one direction and they are following that. So it should not be like that, right? So if you don't have emotions, then you are a piece of wood. If you have emotions and you are affected by emotions, then you are like an animal. If you have emotions and you keep them under your control, then you are a human being. So Vedanta makes your emotions more pure. You understand? It strengthens them. It doesn't, actually now, when the emotions are very selfish, self-centered, they are weak. You understand? When it is given a higher direction, they become strong. And in the world, many people don't understand the deeper emotions. See, when, like you gave the example, all of us will have to one day die. And when some near and dear ones die, it does bring a lot of sorrow. So when you know that a very close person in your family or to you has passed away, you go to them. You don't even talk, right? You're not beating your breast and rolling and crying. That doesn't mean that you don't have emotions. In fact, you may have very deep emotions. You may just go give them a tight hug or just hold on their hands and just be with them, So when the emotions are deep, seldom it is expressed.
That's actually quite the opposite of what the modern theory now is, that you should just keep talking about how you feel and talk about your emotions all the time. Am I uh, correctly putting it
I don't know
forth,
what
or-
the modern thing is all about. And you say that you got to keep on talking about what you feel and all that. See, in a relationship, I don't know how deep the relationship is, how deep the people are who are in relationship. So, when you're in a relationship, you need expressions, right? So, Vedanta is not saying don't express your emotions, but don't just go by expressions.
Correct.
You understand? So, in the beginning, in a relationship, especially when you're trying to build a relationship, you're also not that deep enough, neither the other person. You need a lot of emotions to be shared. And that's good. Then when there comes a time when you slowly evolve in relationship, then that is not that much required maybe. So in the beginning, maybe you'll have to say, happy birthday, this and that. And then slowly, when you begin to understand that you stand for each other, when you understand that your partner stands for you and you stand for your partner, he understands that, then they don't need these expressions to be there. It's not a must. If it's there, it's good. Nothing wrong. Like when you go abroad and even when you go for a walk anywhere, even strangers, they look at you and say, hi, good morning, have a good day.
Yeah.
It's good. It makes you feel good. So nothing wrong. It's not just nothing wrong, it's good also if you express. But why should it be put as a condition that you must express. So yes, when you're relating with somebody who are not in that level to understand, then you need to express. But even that expressions has to be guided by your intellect, thinking. You cannot go mechanically.
Because I think now the entire modern society, or well, I don't want to have put a blanket statement forward, but a lot of people, our generation or the younger generation, they believe in grand gestures, grand like birthdays, and my partner does this for me, and everything is on social media. And I think this is something I personally suffered with, because when I met my partner and I started seeing him a couple of years ago, he had no gestures. So all my friends would look at me and tell me, oh, so what did he do, for your 1 year anniversary? Did he? I was like, actually, no, he hasn't done any of this, because he is more of a quiet, I think, person. And earlier I would always think that maybe he just doesn't even love me. I don't know what he's thinking. But now, after a few years, 2 years, I've realized that the strongest emotion actually lies in his silence. But I think this is a challenge now, because everyone wants to put their entire life on social media. They want to show that this is the ring I've got. This is so. How does one sort of cope with that?
No. How do you cope with it? Means with knowledge. When you understand, you don't have to be like that. See, the biggest problem is herd instinct. Bait chal, they call it. Na? Why do you want to ape? I mean, social media can be used for your. In fact, this is also the podcast, right? It's going to be coming in social media only.
Yes.
So use it. What is wrong in it? But then you don't have to fall for other people's opinion and conclusions. See, a human being should live on his or her convictions, not on other people's dictations. Why should we live on other people's dictations? Other people's opinion? No need, na? Do you understand? So, let them think that a relationship means there has to be a lot of sharing of gifts and remembering the dates and wishing and doing something very big. I mean, all this is not necessarily the sign of deeper love.
No, not at all.
You understand? In fact, you find that the longer the date, the lesser the marriage lasts. Right? So, because see, please understand, in the Gita also he says they compare the mind to fire.
Okay.
How much ever you give, it'll want more and more and more. You know, somebody from Los Angeles who attends my session, he was telling me once when he had come here, when they had that forest fire there, you know. So they have this 4-lane traffic on this side and that side of the road. And the other side, they had the forest fire. On this side of the road, they had houses and hospitals. So there's so much gap in between. But the fire, after consuming the entire forest or how much ever it can consume, the fire jumped this side, you know, and started swallowing the houses, hospitals, etc., and creating havoc.
Yeah.
You understand? So fire is never satisfied.
That's such a good analogy.
Maha Ashana is the word used in Sanskrit. It consumes how much ever you feed. So if you keep on feeding the likes and dislikes, it is very pleasurable in the beginning. You know, it's very pleasurable. Like, you know, when you have a wound, you get that itchy feeling. You know, as I'm talking to you, suppose there's a wound here and then I'm getting that itchy feeling. I try to control. After some time, I keep doing. And when I'm doing it, it's so pleasurable. And after some time, I've made it worse.
Yeah.
It starts paining more. My God, why did I do that? You know? So it's exactly like that. We keep on pandering to each other's superficial pleasures and excitements, likes and dislikes. Mind starts asking for more and more.
Yeah.
Then it is never satisfied. Then you have to do something different. You have to hang upside down. Literally, that's what people are doing, isn't it? So I have to get that joy. I don't get joy by standing on the floor normally. I have to now hang upside down. Then I will get the joy. So all this madness happens, you know. So this is the thing. So therefore, you don't have to go by what the world thinks. Let them. If there's something good, let's take it from the social media.
Yeah.
But for that, we need the strength to decipher
Correct.
as to what is good, what is bad, you know. So that's the problem. So in this social media world, you're right. People want what
More
do you call it?
validation.
Validation. That's a bigger problem.
Yeah.
You know, why do you need validation? When you have values and you have assessed yourself, you don't need other fellows' validation, right? I know what I'm worthy of. Now, supposing you come and praise me. I know Devaki doesn't know me fully well. She has only seen my good side. You understand? Well, always when we are generally coming out and relating with each other, hello, how are you, good morning, all that is very nice. But there will be the other side to everybody.
Yeah.
And Devaki doesn't know that. Right? So she's going on praising me. So Shakespeare says, reputation is an idol, most false imposition. And oft got without merit, lost without deserving it. So when you understand that, when you have done assessment about yourself, when you stand that ground, you know, you are grateful if people pass good comments about you. You will be even more grateful when people tell the negatives of yours, because it's even more difficult to see your own negativity, isn't it? When we look, first of all, hardly anybody looks within, and when we start looking within, to find these negative things from within is not easy. And when somebody is telling, you should be grateful to them, because you can change it, no? You can correct it. So, in that sense, why we need validation otherwise? We don't need validation. And people are doing constructive criticism, we should be able to take it. Even constructive compliments, we should be able to take it and improve upon it, right? So, that's all. But this validation weakness comes because we don't do self-assessment.
Yeah.
We don't lay our life on the foundation of values. Our life is today laid on the foundation of others' validations. And that changes. And when that changes, I have to change. Why do you have to do this? Yeah.
And the Gita talks about the 3 gunas. Can you talk a little bit about that, please? What are the 3 gunas, and how does one identify with these gunas?
Our mind, human mind, is made up of 3 temperaments, it says. It calls it as sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Sattvic mind is that which is balanced, serene, composed. Rajasic mind is that which is restless, passionate, agitated, greedy, result oriented, craving to hoard. All these are rajasic in nature. The tamasic is lazy, lethargic, indolent, heedless to consequence, indifferent. This is tamasic. So, when I just look at my mind, what is predominating? I got to see. Is it clarity? Is it calmness? Is it compassion, balance, forgiveness, giving? Then I can say it is sattva. If it is greedy, wanting to accumulate more and more, not contented with what I have, desirous, result oriented, full of agitations, indecisiveness, all this would mean my mind is more rajasic in nature. Similarly, when I try to procrastinate, kar lenge yaar, dekh lenge, what happens, when I keep postponing, procrastinating, then that's tamasic. So I would know from that, this is my mind today, now. I also have sattvic mind, I also have rajasic mind, I also have tamasic. Maybe one is predominating over the other. Sattva is predominating, good. Rajas is predominating, okay. Tamas is predominating, it's a dangerous thing. So life, we should move from tamas to rajas to sattva, and we have to go beyond sattva also. Going beyond sattva is that sattva atita state, which is self-realization or enlightenment, going beyond gunas. Gunas means traits, temperaments at the level of the mind. Atma, the truth, which I said in the beginning itself, is beyond the mind. Right? So ultimately, we need to improve the quality of the mind, the texture of the mind, from tamas to rajas to sattva. And then we have to go beyond. Yeah.
But how would you describe, for example, even I'm an entrepreneur, I'm result oriented. I think most people who are building, working, that is the rajas, as you would call it, perhaps in certain traits. And is that something we need to sort of rise above? Because everyone is in this phase now, especially in India, of building, growth. The mindset is really shifting. How would you describe that?
See, the problem is there's a big misconception about this growth. It's a growth.
Yeah.
And the way you described, we need to question whether it is growth or swelling. You understand?
Wow.
This is more of a swelling. I don't think so it's a growth. You can use the word, growing financially, this and that. What is happening to the quality of life?
Yeah.
You understand? What is happening to the quality of my mind? Right? So, where are we heading? Right? So, therefore, so I would say that when you are result oriented, you can probably be successful. Right? In fact, you will be able to achieve much better success without being result oriented if you guide your mind, if you control your mind and direct it. Right? But if you are result oriented, you may get success. You may not achieve your fullest potential, but you may be successful. But you will never be peaceful and you won't be progressing. Right? So I won't call that as growth.
Okay.
So when Vedanta says don't be result oriented, please understand that for every action there will be a consequence.
Correct.
There will be a
Cause
result.
and effect.
There will be a result. Right? So you can't avoid result. And when you start a venture, any organization, anybody starts, obviously they are starting it for making profit.
Correct.
They're not starting with the idea of making loss. Right? Though loss sometimes is inevitable, but the idea is to make profit. Right? Even when we have Gita classes, the idea is to make sure that it reaches as many people as possible. Isn't it? That's why we also have a YouTube channel. So apart from the class members, when we put it in the YouTube, maybe others can benefit. So what is that? Result. But when we say don't be result oriented, it has to be understood correctly. Mostly Vedanta is misunderstood. Mostly. Like Shakespeare says, don't call a dog mad and kill it. We misunderstand Vedanta and then we get away from Vedanta and we think we need to study Vedanta after we are 60 or 70.
Yes.
So what is Vedanta saying here with reference to this result and result orientation? Let's understand. You don't think about the result while acting. Right? You plan, you program, you prepare everything before plunging into action. While you are executing the action, let not your mind be attached to the result. If it's attached to the result, then to that extent your present action will be impoverished. And to that extent your result will suffer. You won't be successful. But the thing in the world is everybody is result oriented. So each one achieves some level of success. The fact that you run, you cover more distance compared to a fellow who is sitting. When a person is sitting and not doing anything, not running, not walking also, not forget walking, crawling also, he won't cover distance. The fact that you are running may be like a chicken without head. You will cover distance. Right? All we are saying is, don't think of the result while acting. Karmani eva adhikaraha. Ma phaleshu kadachana. You have right only over action. Right? Never to the result. Now,
Correct.
you are asking questions, I am answering to the best of my ability. Now, what result it is going to yield, I have no idea. Right? But of course, we plan, we prepare, we put in the efforts with all that. And once we have come, we just apply ourselves in the present. That's what it means. So, when you said that you started a business and all that, of course, you'll have to put in your efforts with proper planning. Right? See, we need to learn from the past and plan for the future. Learning from the past is a present action.
Correct.
Planning for the future is a present action. Being anxious of the future is not a present action. It is mind. While I'm sitting here, my mind is thinking, how will people receive this podcast? I hope there will be more views.
Yeah.
Right? Those kind of things. While I'm talking, then my mind is gone by itself. It's not directed and taken towards that. You understand? So it's not a controlled and directed action. It's not by the buddhi, it's not by the intellect. So it's not the present. I've let my mind wander to the future. And similarly, when my mind goes to the past, worries of the past, it has started wandering into the past without control. That is all Vedanta is saying. Instead of that, now supposing you have to learn from the past, you are doing business, there's something you need to learn, So learn from the past. That's what they do in MBA and all, no?
Correct.
Case studies and this and that.
Yeah.
So you learn from the past. That is present action, driven by your buddhi, intellect. And similarly, plan for the future. But once having planned, you have plan A, plan B, plan C, whatever, start executing them. Don't be result oriented. If you are result oriented, to that extent, your actions will be impoverished and you will not get the best results. Today's action becomes success or failure in future. That's all we are saying.
What do you think of, people talk about kismat, your karma, all of that? So many people I've seen in life who might be amazing human beings but are suffering a lot. And so many people who are probably not such good human beings in the, sense of what we've been taught under morality are flourishing. How does that work, when they talk about karma and, people doing all kinds of bad things but not facing any consequence?
You start off by saying, what do you think of kismat? Right. Generally, people understand kismat as something that is written by somebody sitting up the clouds.
Correct.
Swami Ramtita very nicely puts it, He says, there is nobody sitting up the clouds. If somebody is sitting up the clouds, poor fellow will catch cold. Like I've got cold now. So, sorry. So he says, there is nobody sitting up the clouds and writing your kismat or my kismat. It's not written by somebody. It is written by our own actions. That's all we need to understand. when Lord Ram killed Ravana in the story, and you're asked in the exam, right, who killed Ravana? You write Lord Ram killed. But in life you understand that Ravana killed himself. Lord Ram is not a serial killer. You understand? Going about saying, okay, this weekend whom shall I kill? Not like that.
Yeah.
So Ravana, through his own actions, he brought about that result. Same thing with Duryodhana, same thing with all of us, right? But when you sow the seed, you don't get the fruit next day. It takes some time, right? But for every action, there will be a consequence. That's why we say in Vedanta, you're punished or rewarded by your actions, not for your actions. So when you see, oh, these people are doing so much negative, why they are not going through the consequence immediately? It will take time. They will have to face consequence, right? Now, from this, what we need to understand is, rather than so desperately waiting to see that they go through the consequence, we need to learn and say, see that at least I don't do such actions.
Correct.
Because I'll have to face it tomorrow. So I take responsibility upon my life. That's how I should look at Kismat. So karma is there, right? But it is not like you do something bad, today itself you will get the result. And also, when we talk about Kismat, karma and all that, you see, when the happens to be good and the effect happens to be good, we say luck. When the cause is unknown and the effect is negative, we say fate or accident. There is no such thing as accident or fate. Everything is a cause-effect relationship.
But is it from this lifetime, or can it also...
You see, if you think, you can project the past lives, you can say that it's coming from the past. Now, in Vedanta, we do discuss about it, right? But if you don't believe in past and all that, you forget that. It's okay. Doesn't matter. Your actions, whenever it's happened, will have... You're doing so many actions. And in fact, you're not just doing one action. No? You're doing so many actions. So all put together, you will be getting the consequence.
Correct.
Now, while this is true, for every action there will be an equal and opposite reaction. It is also the fact, it is also a fact that you have what is called as the free will or purushartha, the capacity to deal with the karma, So you cannot avoid the consequence, but you can prepare yourself to face such consequences. That is entirely in your hands. So this is what we discuss in Vedanta when it comes to karma.
Does saying something bad also makes your karma, only the action?
You mean only the intention?
No.
Action
I'm
is
saying
saying.
action, or
Saying
even if
is
I
an
say
action.
something... Correct. Okay.
Your saying is an action, your verbal action. So basically what you're trying to ask, if I understand correctly, is if somebody says something and didn't mean it,
Correct.
would they get the, what do you call,
Consequence. for it.
consequence? See, we can look at it from two different angles. Straight away my answer would be no.
Okay.
Right.
Thank God.
Right. Because intentions matter.
Yes.
It is the intention. Right. You see, the doctor is also plunging the knife in the patient's body. But the intention is to save the patient.
Correct.
Out of few operations that he does, maybe one patient may die. But his intention was always good, right? So you can't say that he gets karma for it. Similarly, when you said something, your intention was not bad, right? Therefore, you are not going to get karma at that level.
Okay.
But if you said something to a person who is not able to understand your intention, goes by the word, goes by what you said, he may slap you. And that's also a reaction of the karma you did. You understand? So, you are not going to feel guilty because your intention was good. That karma you will not have. That guilt conscience will not come and trick you. You see, you didn't say anything out of intention. If you said something out of intention, tomorrow it may come and hurt you.
Yeah.
You understand? But here you didn't say anything out of intention. But you said, you didn't understand the meaning.
Consequence. Yeah.
The fellow will slap you because he has not gone by your intention. Reacted. Oh, you say, listen, why did you slap me? So he'll say, I also reacted. I didn't plan from my house and come and slapped you. So you should be ready for that consequence.
And the definition of peace has totally changed in modern society, right?
How?
Because now peace is when you accumulate a certain amount of wealth, you have everything, you're living in a big house. That's what brings people peace. Mostly, I'm talking about again like what we are learning. How we're reacting to things. What is the true meaning of peace, according to Vedanta?
See, okay, before coming to the true meaning of peace, when you said accumulation of wealth is considered as peace. Now, why do people want to accumulate wealth? To fight with their insecurities, to fulfill their desires. Right? So they think if I have so much, then I can fulfill the desire. So I can be peaceful. So are they ever peaceful that way?
No.
Right? Now, if you were in the number one in the list of Forbes today, next year you may not be number one. You may not even figure there. Things keep changing. So they are going through mental disturbance. So peace is not in the fulfillment of desires. Peace is in rising above desires and finding the real source, real nature of yours, in becoming one with the Atma within. You understand? So therefore, peace is not fulfillment of desires. Fulfillment of desire means it is going to bring in either the same desire again or some other desire. You will be constantly agitated, craving for more. Right? So here you go deeper and get rid of the very source of the desire. I mentioned to you in the beginning, attachment, desire comes from the ignorance of our true nature. When I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
Right? I think myself to be this limited individual. And limitation, I need to fight. So how do I fight? By sending my thoughts towards the world, everything. To accumulate more and more wealth, more and more people, more and more everything. Contacts, knowledge, everything. So, and I also talked about the nature of the mind. The nature of the mind is to crave for more and more. Like they say in the ad, no? Dil mange more. You understand? So it will ask for more and more and more. So you're never going to be peaceful by going on accumulating. And there is fear. In fact, in the scriptures they say, wealthy fear their own children. Because they are going to wait. This fellow is already 90, he's not going.
Yeah.
And he's still hanging on to that chairmanship.
Yeah.
He is not giving it to me. How long I'm going to be vice chairman or managing director? When am I going to become managing director? I am already 70, 65, So there is constant insecurity there in that kind of a life where you're going on adding. Peace is not in adding. Peace in subtracting. You understand? When you rise above your desires, right? When you rise above your desires by knowing your true nature, then you know that you are not this limited individual, you are that supreme self. When you gain that knowledge, when you know that you are supreme, you are not desiring, you are full, paripurna. When you are full, you are not going to act to find peace. You are going to act out of peace. You are not going to stop acting. This is another fear. Oh, desire is gone, I will not act. No. When the desire is overcome, you go beyond it, you rise above it, you become complete. And then you will be acting out of love, not to find peace. You have something which is helpful to others, so you will start doing it, out of love. So with peace. So peace is cessation of agitations. Cessation of agitations means going beyond desires, going to the root and finding the self, finding your true nature, coming home, getting back to yourself. That is where the peace is.
What are some of the tools, practices that people can use to attain peace or get to know themselves better?
First thing to get to know about ourselves better, first we have to know that we don't know about ourselves. We have to first accept that I don't know. I need to learn, So then when you get into the scriptures and the books of great masters and all that, you will come to know about yourself. But it's better if you do it in a systematic way, rather than just like that you take any book and start reading and all that, So, and then there are certain practices, like for example, even in some of the books written by Western authors, they very nicely coin it, they call it as delayed gratification. Practice that. Supposing you are in a restaurant or in a party and buffet is being served, you wait till others take. Delayed gratification. That's one interesting tool that will help you, rather than just directly plunging.
Jumping.
Yeah. So when your senses are not controlled, you have spoiled your senses by pampering them. As soon as they ask, you give. As soon as the mind demands, you give. If you've led life like that, you cannot be in peace. You will be in pieces. So therefore, delayed gratification is one good tool, and breathing exercises, they calm your nervous system. When you get stressed, sympathetic nervous system kicks in, right? So when you breathe in and breathe out, especially when you breathe out long, that's what happens in pranayama. Longer exhalation compared to inhalation. Right? Short inhalation compared to exhalation. Then you allow your parasympathetic nervous system to come in. You become more peaceful, calm. So you can practice that. Delayed gratification sense level is very important. In fact, in the scriptures, it is interesting what they call as wealth.
I'd love to know.
Yeah. So they use the word Shamadhi Shatka Sampati. Sampat means wealth. Shamadhi Shatka Sampati means sixfold wealth, starting from Shama. Shama means mind control. Dhamma means sense control. So these are the practices. Dhamma, Shama, Uparama, being with yourself, being contented with what you have, developing the habit of self-sufficiency, doing things yourself, rather than becoming dependent on others. When you get up from the bed, start setting it right. Don't have to wait for somebody. You want a glass of water, go get it yourself. It's not that sometimes you need and you are busy or something, you can ask help from others. That is different. So your question was, what are some practical tools to build peace? These are practical things, but
Correct.
Ultimately you have to develop the intellect to control the mind. You understand? These are also very good tools and tips that will help you to build peace.
I think what I gauge from this is also having a sense of discipline. Is that the reason fasting is such a big thing in our culture?
See, fasting, when you say, it means upavas. Upavas, residing near. Vas means reside. Upa means near, residing near. So fasting means you are residing near the higher divinity. On a shraddha or something, when they fast, there is a ritual and all that associated, right? So you are residing near God. In the thought of divinity, in the thought of higher, you are residing closer to that. And with the lower, you are detached. You understand? And that is how you, that's called fasting. Right. Today, all kinds of fastings have come, intermittent fasting, this and that. That has a lot of benefits. I'm not taking the benefits away. I mean, who am I? So, that is okay. So, fasting also helps you to, when you do it too much, it won't. That's why in the Gita also he says, whatever it may be, everything has to be in regulation. Like they say, in English, everything should be in moderation, including moderation. So in the Bhagavad Gita he says, one who sleeps too much, one who sleeps too little. One who eats too much, one who eats too little. Both cannot meditate and realize the self. So the extremes are the mind. The center point is the balance, peace and intellect. So therefore, When you say fasting can help, of course fasting can help when you do it with your buddhi, when you do it with your intellect, with this understanding, keeping your thoughts on the higher. It helps you to keep your thoughts on the higher rather than, taking it to the lower. So fasting helps, maunam helps, silence. You become aware of your own thoughts. Until such time you think you are such an angel. Suddenly when you're doing a maunam practice, you suddenly see so much of jealousy, arrogance coming up. Say, my God, who is this person? Is it Devaki? Is it Lakshmi Narayan? Oh my God, I couldn't believe myself. So be objective and deal with it. So all these practices do help to strengthen the mind. That's why they've kept all that.
And what about food, the kind of food we eat today? Does that have an impact on our emotions, our mind?
It does. It does. So you can't say, you may not directly bring a cause and effect relationship there, but it does have an effect. Also, food, when you say, for that matter, anything, even the choice of your clothes, I would say, why should people sitting in France decide what you should wear in Delhi? You or me wear in Delhi.
Yeah.
So the point is, each one decides the food according to their goal, according to their nature, according to their obligations, according to their swadharma. If I'm a warrior, if I'm a sportsman today, there are certain muscles that I need to build. So I need to think like that. I need to understand that I don't live to eat. I eat to live, and living should have a purpose. And what's the purpose? Then I accordingly set things right. So then it will help me. If I unnecessarily eat certain food, it will have certain disturbance in my physical system, which will disturb my mind. So that is going to have an emotional repercussion. So therefore, I better have discipline at food level also.
Could we distinguish between healthy desires and unhealthy desires, or good and bad desires, or is it desire is bad?
Okay, let's look at it from two different angles. From the highest angle, desires are bad because they keep you away from your divinity, from your true nature.
Correct.
So you have to rise above all desires, both the good and bad. Right. Now, when you say bad desires, good desires, what does that mean? Selfish, unselfish. Right. Selfish desires are categorized as bad desires. Unselfish desires are categorized as good desires. So compared to selfish desires, of course, unselfish desires better. Right. But ultimately, do we have to go beyond unselfish desires also? Yes, of course. And become selfless. Like I said, you with intention doing bad is one category. Other is with intention doing good. Right. And rising above that and being naturally good. When I evolve to a greatest height, then there is no desire in me to do good or anything. But I will be doing only good. See, take for example, now you have these cameras, they're all digital. Now those days they had this analog cameras. And these analog cameras used to come with a film roll, which we used to call as negative, right?
Yeah.
So we could take about 36 pictures or so in that. And we used to put them up in a box, small round box. After taking pictures, we put them up in a box and take it to the studio and give it to them. And they go and develop it in the dark room.
Yes.
Right? So this is not my example. This is I heard from one Swami. He says, these negatives can only be developed in darkness. The moment you expose negativity to light,
It doesn't.
it cannot be developed. So when you have kindled your inner awareness, when you have switched on the inner light, you have awakened to the self, you become aware 100%, 365 days, 24/7. Even in sleep you will be aware. You see Mahavir. Mahavir, when he used to sleep, he never lied flat on his back, I believe. He only slept sideways. Because very little space his body would occupy. So he lived to the best possible ways to not hurt others. So when you're lying down, you probably killing few insects, you know. So therefore, you can't, but you can't hang in the air, right? So you'll have to lie down. So minimum disturbance. And throughout he used to sleep like that. That means what? Even in sleep he is aware. Even in sleep he is not hurting anybody. That is why he was called as Mahavir. Why is he called Mahavir? Did he go and conquer any battle of Panipat or Sonipat or anything? Nothing like that, right? So the point is, when you rise to that level of awareness, it's impossible to do anything negative. Not possible at all. You will only be doing good. Not that you have a desire to do good.
Yeah, it's just natural.
You will be naturally doing good. Like, wherever the cloud goes, it gives rain.
Yeah.
So it's like that. So we need to rise above both good and bad desires. But when you say good desires, unselfish, bad desires, selfish. So in the hierarchy, we have to rise above selfish and come to unselfish. Then from that, we have to go to selfless, beyond desires.
In today's modern society, we are spoiled for choices. So therefore, I think we are always procrastinating, or decisions are not as quick as they used to be back in the day because there were lesser options, and clear thinking has gotten impacted, right? So how does one focus on developing clear thinking?
See, I said we have three equipments: the body, mind, intellect. And basically, mind and intellect are nothing but thoughts. When the thoughts are indiscriminate in nature, you call it as mind. When the thoughts are discriminate in nature, you call it intellect. Otherwise, both are thoughts. Okay. Body by itself does not act. It is either propelled by the mind or by the intellect or the combination. When your mind, which is indecisive, propels your body, it's detrimental. So it should be your intellect that propels the mind and the body. That's how it should be. In fact, the symbolism of the chariot on which Sri Krishna gave the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna is also very interesting. The horses represents our senses. The reins represents the mind. And Arjuna represents the individual. The chariot represents the body. Arjuna represents the individual, you and me. And Sri Krishna represents the intellect. The intellect should guide the mind. The charioteer should be controlling the reins. And the reins should be controlling the horses. Otherwise, each horses would be wanting to go in different direction, and the chariot will collapse, and Arjuna, the individual, will be on the road
Yes.
rather than reaching the destination safely. So, our intellect should guide the mind and the body. Then we can reach the goal of life. That's what it is. So what is the equipment that you use to think? It is the intellect. So you got to develop that. Today what has happened is people take thinking to be like eating, sleeping. I don't need to put in effort to develop. It's not like that. All of us have the potential. The intellect is there as a potential in all of us. But we need to strengthen it. We need to build it. We need to develop it. And that is only possible by exercising it. How do you exercise your body and develop the muscles, right? Like that you got to exercise your intellect. The food for the exercise, for the intellect is the thoughts. So when you read good books, spiritual books especially, right? Or any good books for that matter, and start questioning, not accepting anything blindly, you are exercising your buddhi. So that's why we say every day, first thing in the morning, see, the subtlest equipment is the buddhi compared to the mind and the body. Compared to body, mind is subtle. Compared to mind, intellect is subtle. Right? Subtler than that is Atma. That is a separate thing. But with reference to equipments, intellect is the subtlest. So the best time of the day is early hours. Right? You have had good sleep. You've rejuvenated your muscles, your brain cells, everything is well rested and rejuvenated. So, and the external environment is also calm, quiet, So, early hours, especially in Vedanta, we talk about Brahma Muhurta, morning 4 to 6, right? If 4 to 6 in the morning is difficult, 5, 5:30, whatever time, but as early as possible, for which you need to go to bed early. You can't go to bed at 3 and get up at 4, then say Brahma Muhurta, I'm not able to think. So, you sleep well, you've rested enough, your muscles, everything is relaxed. You now put in that time for the development of intellect, right? By studying the scriptures, first reading it, listening to it, and then questioning, reflecting, why is it said so? Is it applicable in all context or only in certain contexts, etc., etc.? Why, when, what, where, we, how? When we question, then we strengthen the buddhi. Then whatever we understood, that you check. You can not necessarily you have to go in the life, do some mistakes and then learn. No, from the past, you've had so much experience, right? So from the past you can check, from others' experience you learn. You compare your learnings, what you questioned and understood, with your experiences of the past and others, and then come to convictions, and then start leading your life on that convictions. So that's how we have to develop the thinking slowly. We can't take it for granted and say, just like eating and sleeping, I can start thinking.
Yeah.
Then mind will go here and there. That's not thinking.
Can someone be spiritual or without actively practicing spiritual activities or things to, enhance their spirituality?
Of course. I mean, what you meant is, you mean rituals?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? In fact, there are people who practice rituals mechanically, may not be spiritual at all.
No, but what I
See.
mean is, for example, certain people, they are inclined towards spirituality, but they don't do any active work, whether it's breathing or any kinds of practices. Can they still be spiritual and not practice anything?
Of course. See, but the thing is, as you become spiritual, your awareness will increase. As your awareness increases, if in your life, to what extent breathing exercise is required, you will do. Why will you turn against it? So your question is, can somebody be in the world without following any so-called religious practices, be spiritual? If that is a question, answer is yes. Right? Ultimately, according to you, what is spirituality? You tell me.
I think it is knowing yourself, being at peace, understanding, what is important to you as a person rather than what you're doing for the world. I think it is just rising above or getting better, I think, becoming a better person in your own eyes.
Yeah. So, see, to the extent you identify with the spirit in you, the self in you, you are spiritual, right? You may be found amongst the material objects, the matter, right? This world is made up of spirit and matter. The Atma, Brahman, and the material component, Prakriti. So now, when you identify with the matter, even sitting in the puja room, okay, then you are not spiritual, right? Because your focus is on the material aspect. Where is your mind? Do you get it? You are in the so-called temple. Sometimes I see people go to temples which is too crowded. For example, on the New Year, they believe that they should go to the temple, etc. It's okay, fine. We are not saying anything against or for it. Now, you go there in such crowd, and then you come back, and what are you discussing? Did you see that, jewelry around Bhagavan's neck? Did you see that diamond shining on the Bhagavan's crown? Did you see his feet? Did you put your head on the feet? What did you do there? You understand? Or did you close your eyes and mentally put your head on his feet? What did you do there? That is what makes you spiritual, isn't it? So you can be in the so-called spiritual place and not be spiritual. And you can be in the so-called material world and be spiritual. Right? So when you are in the so-called material world, you are thinking about how you can serve people. Naraseva, Narayana Seva. Narayana is everywhere, is all pervading. Divinity is everywhere, all pervading. Divinity is there in all these beings, species. So when I am serving them, I am identifying and seeing what I can do to help them get rid of their pain and evolve. So to that extent, I am being spiritual. Do you understand? So that is spirituality. But to build your awareness more, there are certain practices and all that mentioned in the scriptures. And if with that understanding you practice that, then you are being spiritual. But if you do it mechanically, then you are not spiritual. However great the practice might be. You may have material benefits. Spiritual benefits you may not.
You know, now in today's world, we are all so connected, but we've never been more lonely. Why do you think people are, so lonely now and have lesser human connections?
See, when you have connected with the self, you have reached aloneness. When you have connected only with your ego, you have loneliness. Okay. So when you have connected with your ego, you need company. Company becomes a demand. Company becomes a necessity. Are you with me? And if you are in company of people who are all identified with ego, so you are all lonely people have come together now. You understand? So it's to do with the inside, nothing to do with the outside connectivity or companionship, the number of people that you have in life. Yogaratova, Bhogaratova, Sangaratova, Sangavihinaha, Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam, Nandati, Nandati, Nandat Eva. Beautifully Adi Shankaracharya ji has said in the Bhajagovinda. Whether you are in yoga or in bhoga, yoga means spiritual context, let's say. Bhoga means indulgence. Okay, whether you are in yoga or bhoga, or sangha or sangha vihina, in company or alone, in seclusion. Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam. When in your thoughts, in your mind, only Brahman, Atman, the divinity, consciousness, you're identifying with the higher aspects of life, you're identifying with the higher values of life, then you will be alone. You will not have any loneliness. That's why he says, Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam, Nandati, Nandati, Nandat Eva. He will be happy, happy, verily happy at the body level, at the mind level, at the intellect level. That's why he repeats it 3 times. So, aloneness is a different ballgame altogether. Loneliness is something else. So, loneliness, what is happening? It's basically identification with ego. I have separated myself from the total. Right? So, I'm alone. I need catering. So, I want people to talk good things about me. Right? So, even when I'm in the group, basically I'm expecting, wanting, taking more and more. Such people can never be contented. So they will only be feeding their loneliness more and more. They won't be feeding their aloneness. Therefore, when you have become alone, even in group you will be happy, and when the group is not there, then also you're happy. If everybody is praising you, fine, no problem. When nobody is praising you, everybody is turned against you and they have left you alone, still you will be happy. Because your identification is with the truth. That's the idea. So that's why, in spite of all this human connectivity and all that, we have lost the real connection. Where you have to get connected, you lost. All other connections you are making, which are temporary. See, your mind can change, right? My mind can change, your mind can change. Your opinions about me can change tomorrow, for no fault of mine. So when I'm connected to you, you're wondering, is Devaki still having the same opinion about me or it's changed? Right? So that's what I'm saying. So if I had my own assessment, my own analysis, I don't care. With my analysis strength and identification, immaterial of whether your mind changes, not change, whatever is my obligation and service to you, I'll continue doing. So it is to find our roots in the foundation. We have lost that. We are all trying to satisfy that with connections. My Guru Swami Parsadi ji, he very nicely puts it. He says, you need makeup only when you lack beauty. That's why probably they call it making up,
Yeah.
You make up. You make up for what you lack. You don't have to make up for what you have, what you are. So that's the point.
What are your views on AI now that everyone is using AI to search for anything, to write answers, to send emails, to even write text messages to each other? How do you think that's impacting human beings?
See, it's an easy way out. Right? It is only going to weaken you more. AI is good. Any technology is good. Now, we are also using technology, right? So it's good. But the problem is, we should have the control to use it. I always say, how do you decide the affordability? Supposing you want to buy the latest iPhone, I don't know what is 17 or whatever that is. 17, right?
I think so.
17. I don't think
Even
so.
I
18 has
don't
come.
know.
Whatever. So, supposing you say, listen, I have money. I can buy those flip phones. It may cost more than 1 lakh or so. I can buy. I have enough money. Extra money. I'm not stealing, borrowing, begging. I can buy. So what's wrong? I have not asked anybody else to give me. So what's wrong? I can afford. No. I say you can afford a phone. That is determined by something else. What is that? How much time in a day can you be without it? That determines your affordability.
Amazing.
I can have 20,000 crores. So easily I can afford an iPhone is nothing. But I cannot go even to the bathroom without my iPhone.
Yeah.
You understand? Then I cannot afford it. So same thing with AI. It's a beautiful thing. What's wrong in it? It's good. Technology improving, science is helping us. Why not? Science and spirituality should go hand in hand. Right? So the point is, it is not bad. But we become more dependent. That's the problem. Instead of, in fact, I used to live abroad for a while, giving lectures there. And, when we grew up in Chennai, there was only telephones, and it was not like everybody had telephones.
Yeah.
In fact, when you book for telephone connection, you'll get it after 3 years. I remember that. 3 years ke baad you'll get it. So, very few people would have telephone, So maybe your neighbor has. So you will remember their number. You will tell them, please call my mother, whatever. That's how people lived. So we used to remember everybody's number.
Yes.
I was in marketing. I used to remember everybody's number, especially my neighbors and everybody. Now when I was living abroad, I had to call my mother. So we had telephone by that time in my house. When I called my mother, she was not answering. 2-3 times I called, she was not answering. So I said, "Hey, what happened? Yeah? I wanted to talk to her something important." So then I said, let me call my neighbor to check whether she's there, what has happened. She was staying alone, So I said, I don't have a number stored, the neighbor's number. So I said, see, I must definitely have it in my memory somewhere. So I am going to wait for some time, calm myself, and then bring it out. And I took it out from my memory. I took a chance, international call. I took a chance and called. It happened to be the right number. Then they said, no, she's inside locked. She's having a bath. She'll call you back.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, we had that much capacity once upon a time as human beings.
Yes, absolutely.
We've lost it. We are losing our memories. We are losing our capabilities. We are now writing short messages, not even short messages, emojis.
Yeah.
You understand? So slowly we are losing our capabilities. This is not civilization. This is not growth. This is madness. So AI should complement us to grow, become more civilized, not become more and more dependent. See, when we spiritually grow, we should become more independent mentally.
Yes.
Physically, you might have to depend on so many things.
Of course.
Like I'm dependent on when we come and talk here. We depend on electricity. We depend on the camera, the cameraman. So many things. That's this sofa also we need. We need everything physically. That is okay.
Yeah.
But to be dependent, that they become a condition for my happiness, for my peace, for my living, that is madness.
Yeah.
So AI, when you become too dependent, hey Meta, hey, everything you keep asking, Gemini,
Siri.
Gimini, Siri, everything, then you are not living your life to the best possibilities. So you are mortgaging your life in the hands of AI. That is not correct. That is not good.
What is the one simple habit, people can start doing today to gain some mental clarity and start the path of, understanding yourself better?
See, when you say one tool to develop mental clarity, be open, put everything out. Your whatever bias you may have. All of us have so many informations, especially in today's context, like you said, social media, more misinformation comes.
Correct.
So if you want mental clarity, be ready to empty everything and question everything. Whatever it is. Even what is being discussed in this class, in this podcast.
Yes.
I'm used to saying in this class,
Yeah.
So
It's
I
a
just
class
came.
for me only.
Yeah.
Private class.
So in that sense, so unbiased, question everything, right? Come out of that clutter, see what is good for you, what you should take forward, what is not required, throw it in the bin. So that's how you can develop space, mental space and clarity. Slowly by questioning. That's how you develop the intellect. Question everything, not accept anything for granted. Don't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
So then we can develop clarity. Otherwise, Bhagavad Gita is given 5,000 years ago. It is said to be given by Sri Krishna, who is said to be an avatara. So what? Not out of arrogance. Okay, maybe with a folded hands I'll say, okay, it was given by Sri Krishna, great avatara, but it was given to Arjuna on the battlefield 5,000 years ago. How is it relevant today? Right? How it will help me? In what way? What is being said in Gita? Let me see. Let me read. Keep aside all the bias. Be open. That's when, see, if you want clarity in your handbag, you empty the whole handbag and then you see, Arey Baba, all these unnecessary bills and stuff which I've been putting inside, remove that. And the other things, you file it, you'll develop clarity.
And what is the one habit one must avoid in order to grow as a human being? The one thing you must avoid under all circumstances to grow?
I think procrastination. If possible, procrastinate the procrastination. So you can say so straight away off the cuff if you ask me. If you want to grow, you have to do it now. See, I'm not against astrology, but it is going beyond limits in today's context, I would say. People see Rahu Kal, Yamakantam, all that, like we agreed for this podcast. Neither I nor you, I don't know about you, but I definitely didn't see Rahu Kal or Yamakant, which time to start.
No, I didn't either.
So I'm just saying, Arey Baba, we've decided to do something good, something which is helpful for us and to the others. Start it now, right now. Why procrastinate? Tomorrow, day after, this time, that time. It's too much. So I think one thing that we really need to think is procrastination. Especially, if you see in this country, we talk about what is that? They said we have moved ahead in business easy. What is that called? Business ease.
Okay.
Ease of doing business.
Yeah, ease of doing business.
We were, I don't know the numbers now exactly, some 140 we were now, we are 100, something like that. We are moving up in the ease of doing business. In the country where Vedas are given, Upanishads are given, Bhagavad Gita is given, which is one full chapter is dedicated for action in Bhagavad Gita. Third chapter is called Karma Yoga, Yoga of Action. And that is the Gita we want to study after we are 60, 70. We should study when we are young, not when we are 60, 70. Right? And secondly, in the country where Gita is given, right? And we talk about it so much and all that, no file moves that easily. Still ease of business, we are somewhere far away.
Yes.
You go to some other country, you can start business like this.
Yeah.
I mean, why can't we be dynamic? Why can't we be dynamic and cheerful? So, when you say, what is that one habit or something that we should avoid to grow? This is the thing, procrastination. That's why Swami Vivekananda got so fed up. He said, you go play football, he said. He's from West Bengal, So Bengal is known for football craze. Now cricket also, they love. But football is so popular in Bengal and Kerala. So he said, go play football. Become dynamic. Be Rajasic. It's okay if you're not Sattvic, but at least become Rajasic. In the name of being Sattvic, you are being so Tamasic. Karenge, dekhenge, sochenge. Kab karenge, bhai? You understand? Let's start doing things.
I think, this is actually, I had goosebumps the entire time. It was unbelievable listening to you. And you've given me so much to think about. Everyone, I think, who's going to listen to this podcast is blessed to have had this from you, because I think really I feel truly blessed today.
Thank you.
And I was even fumbling before asking you questions, because I was so worried. I was like, oh my God, what should I even say to all this? I really feel so humbled, and I feel like I need to read a lot more before I come and ask you questions. But really, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about or discuss? In anything that
No, it was a pleasure talking to you, and I don't think so. You did a great job, actually. I don't think so. You did anything wrong. And when you say anything, I want to say, see, I was blessed enough to be introduced to Gita at a young age, to be introduced to Vedanta as a subject. So let us keep aside all our bias. The secular, the secular, this thing, that. Let's just keep aside and approach the knowledge with questioning. What appeals to your intellect, take it. You don't have to follow anything blindly, mechanically, including what was discussed in this podcast. You understand? So I would say that start now. If not, don't say, oh, I'm already 60. It's okay. You're already better late than never.
Yes.
But at least I feel, everybody must start reading Gita. I won't say Upanishad straight away, because Upanishad is much subtler. You can go from Gita to that, Vedanta. Vedanta is Upanishads. So I would say start with Gita. Read properly.
Any version, any book?
See,
because it's quite difficult. I tried.
I'm not saying this because he's my guru. But one thing that is really great about my guru is he approaches the subject Gita from a very practical point of view. He presents the subject for the modern mind in the contemporary language and thought. And if you see his book, he's still alive, he's 98. Okay. He constantly edits the book.
Oh, wow.
To make it simple and brings more contemporary examples. Therefore I say, read that book. But read whatever book. But whichever book you read, right? Use your intellect, question, think, test it out in life, verify the information, see whether it's applicable, true, then take it forward. Don't have to follow anything blindly. So that way I would say you can follow the commentary of my guru Swami Parthasarathi, Srimad Bhagavad Gita by A. Parthasarathi. You can get it in the internet wherever. You can get any book, doesn't matter. But start. Don't worry about Rahu Kalam Hemakantam. Just start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Swamiji, thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.